Hey everyone, I'm Rachel, and today on Crack Your Bible, we are going to be talking about not Genesis 6 today. Instead, we're having to do a PSA because some Christians have no common sense. They're not using their God-given sound mind to keep their kids home from church when they're sick. Let's just jump right in. $100. How did I get sick, you guys? Most of you guys know that, not last week, but the Thursday before, I went to Colorado because my husband was running in a Spartan race. We have family out there. I was doing some research for Genesis 6 and 7. So we went to Colorado and we stayed with my aunt and uncle, and then another cousin from one of my other aunts. She flew in from Tennessee. So it was me, my husband, my aunt and uncle, my cousin, and then my other two cousins who are both under the age of 4. Now, my aunt warned me that one of the kids got sick at Bible study, and now everybody is sick. So, because one person couldn't stay home from one Bible study, the trip to go hang out with my family, who I haven't seen in 8 months, ruined. Because kids are sick, they're cranky. My cousin was sick. I got sick. My husband got sick. So, 3 adults and 2 infants got sick because one person at a Bible study they needed a break. They needed to come to Bible study. Sorry, hold on. I need a tissue. Sometimes Christians just get on my nerves because on one hand, it's like you have the Bible. You know, there's a certain way you're supposed to treat people. There's a certain code of conduct. But on the other hand, some Christians are they're loopy, okay? They're just crazy. It's like common sense just like goes out the window the second they step into a church, because where else would you decide to bring a child who is sick to be around elderly people, pregnant people, other children, and not care? That's the problem. These people don't care, and you're supposed to be your brother's keeper. We went over this in Genesis, okay? You are your brother's keeper. So if your child is sick and you're not bringing them down to an altar call, you're just bringing them into the nursery so you can get a break because you're tired of dealing with a sick kid, shame on you. Shame on you, because you are your brother's keeper, and Jesus says that we're supposed to treat others the way that he treats us. Like, golden rule here, people. And, you know, everybody knows that I have younger siblings that were born when I was in high school. And people used to always ask us, oh, where are you guys going to church? Where did you guys go to church? Like, oh, where did they get baptized? Where are you going to do this? Blah, 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 blah. No, we're not going to church. You know why? Because everybody feels that they are entitled to just drop their kid off at a nursery at church until all the kids get sick. We didn't want my brother and sister to get sick, so we stopped going to church. We could not fellowship with other Christians because so many Christians are so entitled and so out of their mind crazy that they think it's totally fine to bring a sick child into a church. If your kid is coughing, if your kid is sneezing, if your kid has a stomach flu, if your kid is still on a round of antibiotics and they have not completed it, stay home. There is no place in the Bible where it's like, well, you know what, your salvation is dependent on a perfect attendance record to church or for Bible study. No, stay home. I know you're not bringing your kid down to get hands laid on them so that they can get healed. Like, save it in the comments. Not only that, but in Leviticus 15, God lays out the rules for if you're sick, you stay home. You are quarantined. You are isolated from everybody else so that nobody else gets sick. You fellowshipping with other people is not more important than the health and safety of the entire group. That's why in Leviticus 15, it says that if anybody has an unusual bodily discharge, such discharge is unclean. Whether it continues flowing from his body or is blocked, it will make him unclean. Yada, yada, yada. So if you have a runny nose or a stopped up nose or you have the flu, you're unclean. This isn't like, oh, well, Jesus came back, so this is all, null and void. No, there's ceremonial law, there's moral law, there is criminal law in the Bible. That doesn't mean that all of the laws are null and void because Jesus died on the cross. Some of these are common sense laws, such as if you're sick, you stay home. And you see throughout the book of Leviticus, if somebody's unclean, everything they eat, everything they touch, it's unclean. If you touch somebody who's unclean, you're also ceremonially unclean. And then the priest has to check you out at the beginning and then 7 days later. You stay away from the congregation so that everybody else doesn't get sick. This is common sense. That's why it's in the Bible. Like, hey, everybody, you can pretend that you're super religious and devoted to God, but hey, if you're sick, we are going to make sure you don't come into contact with everybody else and spread your germs. When the book of Leviticus was written, there wasn't humidifiers and Robitussin and Mucinex and Kleenex. You couldn't just shake it off. Likewise, today, follow the Bible. Stay home if you're sick. If your kid's sick, stay home with them. It's rude. Christians, stop being rude. Stop being stupid. Stop being loopy. This is common sense. If you can't stay home, or your spouse can't stay home, or you don't have a babysitter, or you just need a break because you're a single parent, a widowed parent, whatever, it doesn't matter. If you have a sick child, that sick child needs to stay home. Period. You going to church, you going to Bible study is not more important than making sure that you take care of your child at home. You don't get brownie points. You don't get an extra crown for perfect attendance to throw at Jesus' feet. Use some discernment. So, tell me below in the comments, what is the most annoying thing that you've seen at church where somebody's bringing somebody who's near death to go, volunteer something where they're not actually asking for hands to be laid on a person. Also, tell me below in the comments, at what point do you have to be at before you decide that you're not going to attend church or you're not going to attend a Bible study because you're too sick? Sorry, I'm can barely breathe right now. So anyway, tell me below in the comments. We will get back into Genesis 6 later on in the week. I would like you to subscribe, and share, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye.